Hi, good afternoon, and I'm indeed happy to be back after 1 month of break. The speaker that we were supposed to have last month couldn't make it twice. That we postponed, so unfortunately we couldn't have it. But anyway, I know you got a lot of videos out there, but this is a special program that we have designed to help agents to look at things in a more deeper manner, because when you sit down and talk about 40 minutes about certain subject matter, I think you get the depth of it, and it will help you learn a little bit more and more in depth. So I know a lot of you would not like to sit down and listen to somebody for 30 to 40 minutes, but it is important. So it's out there in the YouTube. You can go and take your time and maybe segmentize it and listen to it. Today we've got a very interesting speaker, a good old friend of mine. I will introduce him later, but before we move on to the next subject matter, I want to say that I need to make some announcements. That would be on the board announcements that has been made. As you can see, we have got let me just recall, okay, that REN registration closed on 31st of March. So if you have not registered your REN number, then you are going to have a challenge in doing so. So I want to suggest that if you have missed out, then you have to go back and do your NCC. So you have no choice but to go into NCC. Don't get angry with anybody, because we have already told you that by 31st of by December you need to attend the RRP, and then from RRP you will have to submit the certificate for renewal, renewal for your tag. So a lot of you have missed out. From our own observation, we realized that there's only around 30,000 negotiators who have renewed their tag, compared to 35,000 1 year earlier. So the number of rents that is not renewing their tax is getting higher and higher, and it's of concern. I've said that before. So agencies need to take care of that and do something about it. Okay. So the second point that I want to bring up is on new rents must have SPM equivalent. All those new rents who are attending the NCC class, you need to have SPM or equivalent. So if you don't have SPM, if you got UEC or other passes, please go to the board and see whether you qualify to go for NCC. And then you also know that now, in order for you to renew your tag or new rents, you need to attach your bankruptcy search to show the board whether you are a bankrupt or not. So that is important. Okay, so those are the three important points that I want to raise. And of course, you need to take attention of this. Starting May, sometime in May, a new syllabus for NCC will start. We were just briefed 2 days ago that the board has approved the new syllabus. They have revamped certain parts of the old syllabus. So it's a little bit more in depth, a little bit more clarity to the points we have shared with you before. So there's a new syllabus starting May. And very interestingly, the board has said that we must do a 26 minutes video on AMLA. So when you go for NCC, 26 minutes, you have to sit down and look at this particular subject matter on AMLA. Why? I was asking. And I can only answer this. AMLA is important because money laundering is very important, and siphoning funds for terrorism is important. So we have, as agents, have a role to play to help the country and also to make sure that money cannot be laundered. So that's why we need to be careful. Now, the other point is also of MIA, they're having the AGM, the 49th annual general meetings of your members. This is of concern to you. Meeting will be held on the 10th of May. Lock in your dates. 10th of May 2025, Armada Hotel, Petaling Jaya. So this is something that's going to happen. There is an election for the new president and secretary and the entire board. So please come in full force to listen to what's going to happen, because that is one of your associations that is going to help you. Now, quickly, let me go back to the board. You know that we have the BIS system. Now, BIS, as you know, is the board information system, where all the details of the negotiator, of renewing a tag, of everything else is there. So the BI system has just been revamped for good. I think there are a lot of good things that's going to happen out of it. So it's new. And so soon when NCC, you'll be able to get your certificates immediately, e-certificate. And I think you can do a lot more with this BIS now. So please inform your admin staff. Principals take note, negotiators take note that this new migration to a new portal is going to be something good for the profession and for the practitioners. Now, I had a problem this morning. I went into the BIS system and I tried to key in and have access to the portal. Unfortunately, I couldn't. And so I posed the question to one of the board members, and so I was advised, if you can see the slide, that you need to do this. You need to go and it says there, new registration of profile for registered member of firm. Please click register for profile registration. Existing registered members, all the PVA, PE, PV, PEA, all that firms do not have to submit new profile registration. If you've got a problem, please email to it@lpph.gov.my. Okay? Don't go and click support, because support is not giving us a support. That's why I asked for help. So you need to go to it@lpph.gov.my. So this is to help the firms and all that. Another very important announcement is we are back. ACE, Arena Convention Exhibition, has been not organized for the last few years since COVID. And we took a lot of effort to make sure that we get a host. And so Cambodia has agreed to host it. They did this many years ago, but this time they're going to have it in Siem Reap. Siem Reap is where Angkor Wat is. So it's a historical city, a good place to go for a holiday. And cost also will be low compared to Phnom Penh. So its dates are confirmed, 29 to 31st of August. Lock in your dates, and soon you will get all the information to register and attend this Arena convention exhibition. Most of you have been to Thailand, Malaysia, we were host before, and also Cambodia and Myanmar. You know that nearly 500 people attend from all over the ASEAN countries, all real estate people, and it's real fun that you can learn and meet a lot of people from these countries, and you can tomorrow network with all of them. So you have not been there before, please lock your dates and try to attend. So that's a very important announcement that I want to make, okay? Because it took a lot of effort to get this organized. Okay, so let's now come to the subject matter, how to do big deals. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm great pleasure to invite this young gentleman, Mr. Govin Bala Guru, to come to the table. Welcome, Govin. Please.
Thank you.
Sit. Well, that's Govin. I know if you have been in the profession for a long time, you would have heard him before at Marek and many other seminars. But to those who are new, I don't think you know who he is. But he's got a good track record. Of course, there are a lot of people in the country who have done a lot of big deals.
Certainly.
A lot of people. But he, being an estate agent, being an ordinary, when I look at him, he looked like an ordinary person, small organization, he was able to do some magical things in the profession, which at that time, a lot of people couldn't do. Okay, so let's focus on him. So he started his career as an investor, 1978. 1978. He started I know it was because of his grandmother, and then joined real estate in 1981. He was one of the first real estate agents who was registered after 81. Actually, 86 was the registration. And then his REA number is E327. I am 4-digit, 13 is 327. Super senior, one of the first real estate agents who were registered, and also principal of GDS Properties. GDS is actually his name. But when you talk to him about GDS, he says he's a good deal specialist. So maybe we will discuss this as we go along. All these are from my historical perspective about Govin, okay? So what has he done? I mean, before we go into the questioning, because you look at him and you may not be convinced about him. He has done this, Lotus Desaru.
Lotus Desaru.
At that time, how was Desaru? Was it dilapidated?
Dilapidated project by MBF. It's actually a ghost town with a 10-feet king cobra standing there. The guy who bought it was actually flabbergasted. Ayo, what the hell you put me in here? You know? So that's how he was.
Today,
it is the most happening place there. I think they made fabulous amount of money because Petronas themselves at that point of time, they rented about 4 million ringgit a month, several apartment blocks for the tank farm project.
So when I remember this, and I wanted to put this on record, when you were marketing it, before that, how many years was it there? Nobody touched it.
Oh, it's actually a very interesting deal because it involves 2 liquidators, 2 auctioneers, 3 banks, all this because it's all syndicated loans and things like that. So it's so complex, but I was blessed enough to dissect the thing and see how to approach it. So it was so many stakeholders in that, and even Jackie Chan had a little 4-acre spa there, a Japanese spa. So that also was about 75-80% completed and then left abandoned. So that's when I went and we saw that place. I think no other people would have dared to take, but I think this client.
So this is a very important point. A lot of times you can see a property as agents, this one cannot sell.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
But you are able to overcome this in fact, most of the transactions.
Most of my transactions are all difficulties. I always believe opportunity lies in the middle of difficulty. You know, if you look at the cactus and it's got a nice flower there, you know, it's full of thorns, but yet it bears a beautiful flower. So it's something like that. You know, in all my deals, I just think out of the box, step out of the box, and see what lies ahead, and then bring forth and then propose it to the right party, and who dares to come and take it. And then he suddenly finds that I think they have done something like, even though they bought it very cheap, because, about 200 units of apartments were on auction, no takers. It went down from 300,000, it went down to as low as 35,000. 10%.
Okay, so, anyway, that client will die for you. Any deal must go to you.
No, he always tells me that you are the one who brought me to the B category. I said one day, what B category? I thought A category. He said, no, billionaire category.
Oh, okay. Okay, you also did other deals, Mida Hotel, Kuala Lumpur. You also did the Ritz Garden Hotel, Taman Sapute. This is when you go into Brickfields on the right-hand side. Yes. Then you also did Wisman Leopard. This is in Brickfields. Yes. This is a very interesting story, isn't it? If nobody want to buy it, why?
Simply because the basement was flooding.
Yes. So they go and see the water, they don't want. So what did you do?
I just told them it's very easy. I got a maintenance guy from Petronas. So I said, so it's very easy for me to scale through, because when I told him, he says, no, don't worry, I know what to do. So it's actually blocked with the dried leaves, because the building was left alone for a long time, no maintenance, flooded with water, nobody to pump the water out. So all these leaves went and choked the pump, and that became an advantage. So I said, I felt it's a blessing to me, because all the leaves came and blocked and brought me blessings. So when he brought it, he took out all the leaves and he started the pump, and the water got drained.
Then there's no issue at all.
There's no issue at all. There's no issue until today. It's already 22 years now. They bought it at about $6 million. The property is now worth about $30 million.
Okay, okay. I want you to listen to that finer points. Sometimes we see, as I said, it's covered with leaves. If you know a little bit, you take out, it is a leaf problem, you solve the entire problem. Okay, then you make money. Okay, you also did. This is a very interesting deal, the digital mall, PJ Section 40.
Oh yeah, that was also a very good.
Hold on. So every time you go into digital mall and then you buy your handphone or accessories or computer, this is the man who did the deal. Okay, tell me.
Metro Jaya, it was actually a Dana Harta sale. So George Soros, though a lot of people don't like him, but I love him because he brought opportunity for us, for the less fortunate people, not only for us, for the less fortunate people, people who never had a chance to own something. He brought opportunity to those people, and so this was, with the Asian financial crisis, there was a stack of properties, billions and billions dollars worth of properties there, and all I had to do is just go and look at some problematic properties and look for problems, basically look for problems, identify this one, and then nobody could sell. It has been in the market for a long time. I think there are about how many. Anyway, I must say that this is the man who took me into Dana Harta and registered me in, because I didn't even know about it. So I have great gratitude for him for that. And when I became a registered member and slowly performing step by step a couple of deals, then the people of Dana Harta themselves recognized that I can do something out of the box. So they said, can you get this? I just need to get this property out of my portfolio. So can you please do something? So they said, okay, the valuation was 26 million. I concluded at 19 million. And that was a fabulous deal. The rent tenant there was actually Metro Jaya, who was the tenant, was paying 210,000. So if you sell at 19 million, it's more than 1% a month. So no rocket science, nothing to go and look at it and all that. But what actually happened was, when the guy decided to buy, he pulled the plug by saying, "Sorry, I'm only going to pay you 170,000 a month." So the buyer was devastated. He says, "Govin, what the hell? I bought this because of the rental return, which is 1% a month, 12% a year. So I bought this based on that basis. I have a problem. What to do?" So now we sat down. We had a brainstorming session, and we decided, okay, can we put Mydin there? Can we put the KFC there? Can we put because that's all surrounded by Section 14 is a very hyped place, high footfalls, because Wells Supermarket is just across the road. So we decided, and then we said, okay, shall we look at the digital mall concept? So that was the first of its kind in this country, digital mall. And the digital mall came out, they being very well connected people, they immediately connected with Lawyat people and all the thing. And they managed to bring a whole team of people who were interested in setting up this, because they saw that people from Klang has to come to Lawyat to shop. So now they are buying something midway, which is in Section 14 PJ.
Okay.
So it became a synergy, very strategical. So they did it, and it was we got it. The 210,000, they spent only 3.65 million, and an additional to once Metro Jaya moved out. All it happened was they managed to get $420,000 rental. 420,000 rental a month. Okay. From 210.
So anyway, so that's
Yeah.
the rest is history.
Yeah, that is
I
history.
like what you said just now. Think out of the box, right?
Yes.
2 days ago, I saw this in a message was sent to me. Don't have any box. Don't. It's not that you think out of the box. Don't have any box.
Any box with it. Okay.
It's a very interesting concept, huh?
Yeah.
So if you don't have any box, you can do anything you want.
Yes.
So anyway, it's in my Facebook. Okay, I know we got a lot of things to talk about.
Yes.
So you also did the Kuala Lumpur International Hotel, and then these are the latest deals. So you may listen thing that is done in the past. What is it done recently? So these are some of the deals you have done. I just got it. In fact, 3 hours ago. So you have done sale of industrial from a lot, formerly known as Hitachi Consumer Products. You sold a factory for a pharmaceutical manufacturing concern, a hospital outfit in Malawati, an industrial land 10 acres in Meru. So all these deals are happening Basically, it's happening every other month. So he's still
And some small deals in brick fields, which are worth about 15 million. That was of late.
small deal 15 million. Okay, very good.
Putting it together.
Okay, so he also has won a lot of awards, MIA National Real Estate Award, Commercial Agency for 2 years, and then specialized category and all that stuff. So today we are speaking to a person who is well known, who has proven himself that he's successful in real estate transaction. And so I thought it will be good for us. It'll be good for us to ask some questions, all that. So, having gone through this, what was your most difficult deal that you did?
The most
Or
difficult,
challenging?
challenging, huh? Actually, every deal that I do is a challenging deal because I love challenges.
Okay.
I am a solution provider.
Okay.
I'm not going to take the run of the mill property and run around with the young boys who are just starting, maybe a year or 2 or 3. So I want to stand out.
Okay.
Have the courage to stand out. So
Okay.
be bold. So I pick up such properties. So every property is a challenge. I love challenge, and since I love challenges, I don't see it's a difficult property. I see it as opportunity. It's a hell of an opportunity. What lies ahead?
Not a challenge, but an opportunity.
Yes.
You just twist it.
Not a challenge, but an opportunity. Yes.
Well
So everything I see, I think beyond. What else? How much more can you do? How much can you explorate from the square feet? Each square feet must become productive. If it's $1, how can you make it as $5? How can you make it as $8? How can you make it $10? So that's what it takes you to the next level.
That's when the buyer says, hey, that's good. I want to buy.
Yes, that's what they want. That's what they're looking for, not looking for the run-of-the-mill thing.
Okay, so we have talked about some of the biggest deals. We have discussed this, and then, so I want to ask this question to all those who are listening. What are the mindset shift that one must have from doing small deals, which those days you are doing, right? Then you suddenly went into the big deals, right? Because it just happened. It was not planned or whatever. Because when you went into Dana Harta, the big deals came, but you did something there. So what is a mindset shift that you want to advise people to do big deals?
I think my mindset sets you up in doing deals. It's the mindset. So what mindset is that? That's your question. A disruptive mindset will help you do deals. That means, like what you said just now, there's no box now.
Okay.
It's beyond boxes now.
Okay.
So you go beyond boxes. So you don't precondition your mind to do what is this. This is what I'm going to do. So the whole horizon, the whole universe is an opportunity. So you can plug into any place and play. So the mindset, the disruptive mindset, is key to doing deals.
I want you to explain this disruptive mindset.
Okay. You see, you can clearly see this if you talk to a young agent, a young negotiator who has been maybe less than 5 years. The way he thinks is all short term. It's all short term. He wants to get it and done. He wants to sell it. He's not there to solve it. Don't sell. Solve. Look at it from the solving perspective. So you need to solve it, and don't take it transactional. I want to transact this. No. Strategize it. Long term. It has to be long term. So these are the differences. Rather than short term, long term. Rather than selling, you disrupt your mindset to say, I'm going to solve this. This has got what is the issue here? What's the shortcoming in this? Why is it not able to sell? Who could buy this? So you think out of the box. You disrupt your flow of thoughts. The usual pattern of thinking, because we are all creatures of habit. So we tend to fall into a certain pattern of thinking. So when you give you a solution, he looks at it the same way. So if you give it to me, or even I think there are a lot of agents like me, they will look at it from 10 angles. So you need to become equipped. You need to become you must be a daredevil. Go in and see what can be done. It's just like an actor, the famous actor, the Indian actor Kamal Hassan. If you give him a role, he'll say, "Can I give you 5 roles or 10 roles?" But a new actor will say, "Is this good enough? Is this good enough?" Like that. So a good actor will give you multiple roles, act poses and things like that. So like that, you need to become like an actor. An agent or a RAN has got to become like an actor. Look at it from different perspectives, from probably 10 angles as to how you can attack this, who will be your prospect, and then move on. So that's a disruptive
It's a very poignant, important point that you made. But generally now in the profession, especially with the younger generation, they're all out for a quick buck. They want to go list it tomorrow, sell, cannot sell, never mind, I'll take the other one. The other day, I heard this statement over a Zoom session where this lady from a portal, I don't want to mention them, said, "You must bring in 10 listings a day." And I'm sitting and we never heard of this bringing 10 listings a day. Now they go bring 10 listings a day. How are they going to sit down and have that mindset that they're talking about to overcome the problem? They may have something in their hand, but nothing happened.
I can tell you what it actually means. Very simple. The person is riding on all these machais who are running around, headless, like headless chicken. That person is riding. So you bring all the listings, I will look at it, it benefits me. So that's how it goes. So what I normally say is, don't look for saleable deals. The criteria of a listing must be saleable. If it's not saleable, don't take it. Throw it in the street. There's so many who wants to bite it. Let them bite and go.
So let me be the devil to this question, okay? You said it must be sellable, but when you take the property, you say this one cannot sell, got water, got lalang, got cobra. So how do you think in your mind? What do you see that's a sellable project? What sets that mind?
So if you see, you should put an entrepreneur hat.
Okay.
An entrepreneur. Okay, my definition of an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a person who enthusiastically finds something for someone who they themselves did not realize they needed it before.
Can you repeat that again?
An entrepreneur
is what?
Is one who enthusiastically finds a property or a deal or a proposition for somebody or someone who has not even thought that they needed it before. They didn't know that they needed it before. It's your duty to go and find out how this would benefit him. That means you're selling benefits. You're not selling the product. That's how it should work. Then you will make a difference. Okay. That's again disruptive thinking.
All right, good point. Next question. When evaluating a potential big deal, maybe you would have covered this a bit earlier. What's your tactical approach? What boxes must be ticked before you proceed? Tactical approach. Okay, I want to do this deal. What are the boxes you must tick?
Okay.
How many boxes you have?
Okay, I keep it very simple. The tactical question that you should ask in every listing you take is will this enhance a person? Will this make a person better? How much more he will make as a result of buying this property? If it does not benefit him, don't sell him. Please don't sell him, because he will curse you along the way, and that karma will come back to you. And that is the reason why some of them struggle so hard and yet cannot make it, because there is a debt. You have a universal credit and a universal debt. So if the debt is more than the credit, you have to settle it.
Oh, this is the karma.
This is the karma. Okay. So coming to this, every deal, you must look at it as a deal. And a deal has 4 critical factors. Deal has 4 critical factors.
Okay.
As long as you dissect the deal, you will see the 4 critical factors. Number one, D. A deal must be dissectable.
Okay.
Number one, it must be designable. You need to design a sale. Not just
Okay.
want to take the property, run around and
Okay,
throw it in the market
okay,
and sell.
okay.
You must design the sale. You have a question on engineer. That's the
Okay.
covers. So it must be dissectable. It must be designable.
Ah.
That's D. The E is extrapolatable. You need to
Explain that.
you need to extract the facts in that. It's like dissecting, but dissecting enables you to see inside. When you extrapolate a property, you will be able to see how much more could you extract from that property. So that's
The value.
Yes, value. Because everyone is looking for values. When you invest something, you're looking for values. So it should be values, value driven. Everything ROI driven. So E is extrapolate. A is acceleratable. A sports car from 0 to 100 miles per hour, how much time it takes? Similarly,
Okay. Sorry, I need to cut in. I think a lot of them are lost. Can you just explain that 4 stages in a simple case?
dissectable, extrapolatable.
In relation to a sale. Take one case, how you do that.
Okay. Let me just finish. DEAL is deal.
Okay.
Dissectable, extrapolatable, acceleratable, and leverageable. Okay, these are the 4 critical factors of a deal. Now, I'll give you a case example. Okay. Now, if I look at the Campbell complex, okay, I think you don't really like it. Any property, I look at it, dissectable. How many profit centers does that complex offer? How many profit centers? Because everybody is looking at profit centers. Can you optimize the roof? Can you optimize the wall, the front wall? Has it got a frontage to put a digital board?
Okay.
Can you put something in the basement? Can you put underneath? Can you put a solar panel on the rooftop?
Or can you do an extension?
Yeah. Plot ratio, go to the DBKL, do. So selling is basically science, nothing else. Science. Selling is science.
It's not an art.
It's not an art, it's science. It's a lot to do with
I
science.
should have changed that subject matter.
Selling is science. You can do it another day. But that is why there is a book by Warren Warren Buffett. It's not
Is it
Warren
Warren Buffett?
Warren Buffett. No.
Okay.
Another person. There's a book that's called The Science of Getting Rich.
Okay.
The science of getting rich. So it's science. Selling is also science. And especially when you go deep inside, you will find that this Campbell complex, we dissected the thing. So I've gone into the dissection of profit centers. That's what people are interested.
Okay.
If you can make 10 profit centers out of this complex, oh my God, your final outcome is going to be, your output, the final results is going to be huge, humongous. And if your result is so good, your return is so good, the value of the property will just escalate up. Okay, boosted.
And people will buy it because your profit,
Yes.
your returns are far better than what you can get.
Absolutely. So, so I extrapolate the Campbell complex. Apart from the profit centers, you see, you see, I went to DBKL, I went the extra mile to see what can be done. How much more space can you leverage out of that place? So I went down to the basement. We closed the basement. I checked with DBKL. They said you can close because of all the transport system that has improved the city. You can reduce the number of car parks. So now you can convert the car park into, if you go to Campbell Complex now, ground floor, you'll see there is an arcade, which is my idea. And you shifted the 7-Eleven, the center was shifted to the side. And that has been broken down and made a little steps down. You can physically go and see there. All this was sold to these people before they bought. So, acceleratable. So the value of the complex from 50 million can easily go to 100 million. It's accelerate the value. That's what people want. leverageable. He can go and he buys for 50 million. He goes to the bank and says, "Hey, my property now is worth 100 million." You can cash out your equity and do a drawdown on your equity.
So can I say, based on what you have said, your 4 boxes to tick, DEAL. Can we use that as a 4 boxes?
Yeah, you can say.
4 boxes?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. I've never heard this before. DEAL. Okay. Uh, so I know. Sorry, I got so many questions to ask. Okay.
Okay,
So what's the most underestimated skill
Hmm.
in doing big deals that people often overlook?
Okay. Often underestimated skill. I think there's such a thing called emotional intelligence.
Mm.
You need to get into that shoe, okay, into that shoe, the large big foot there. You got to get into that shoe to know what is his feel like. It's more emotional. It's all about emotion. You know, it's like carrying a baby, cradling a baby. You take them very carefully. The client is a
Okay,
baby,
okay.
actually. You know, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, so you have to take care of this emotional intelligence. That's very underestimated. People, they think that, hey, I'm telling you, this is a good property, you are not accepting. You cannot do that. You know, a lot of people do that. That's the most underestimated.
Or giving him something that he is not looking for.
Yeah, either he's not looking for, he's not tailored yet,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
not prepared for it, he's mentally not set yet, he's not conditioned yet. He needs to go through. That's the reason why when a newcomer comes to buy a property, I tell them go and see IQI agents, many of them there. So these fellows will tire him. After he gets tired, I will tell him come back and see me.
That's okay. We will edit that particular. Not only, I think the entire.
Not only IQI. There's
In the
so many.
entire industry, this is happening because, as I said earlier, everybody's looking for a quick deal. Why should I be wasting my time
Yes.
asking him questions? You know, I go through this every day with my negotiators. They don't understand the qualifying. Why does he need that? So the more time you spend, the less time you spend in closing.
As much as I say IQI is go and see the sleeper, I also tell people go and join IQI because there's one gentleman, my name is Soma, who will train you up very well.
Okay. Well, there are a lot of people who are training.
I know you have many people.
So in your mind, the underestimated skill is we not putting
One of it
ourselves.
is emotional intelligence,
Okay.
where you need to build trust with people, manage client stress. You know, people are stressed when they come, when they don't understand. Just like how you said just now, I think they are lost. You know, it's good. At least there's a feedback, so you know they're lost. So you get in, you get connected. You know, you need to get connected to them, talk the same language, so that they understand what it is. So when you remove all this, you will be able to penetrate into their fold. So you don't put him in front, you don't put him on the top or put him on the bottom, but you are at par with him. So you are his friend.
Working together with it.
Walking together.
In this answer you gave just now, tell me about this word trust, because this word trust, I remembered in the early days was an important thing, but today younger generation, it's lacking. So can you give a little bit of depth to this point?
Okay, trust is not developed overnight. It's over time. You cannot because especially now everyone in the street is a stranger. They're the most strangers in the city than anybody else.
Agreed.
So it's only natural to have a trust deficit. You know, if I know you, I'm comfortable. I sit with you and drink and talk to you. But if I do not know someone, how am I to do it? You know, even though I know you, how much of trust can I rest on your son or on your bosses or whatever? So it is built over time, and you have to think that the day a child is born is your customer. The day he goes to the grave, till he goes to the grave, he's still your customer, cradle to grave. So he's your customer. So you need to work on your clients, bearing in mind that it's long term and the trust factor is so important. So you have to give him that emotional support with him. Tell him I'm always there with you, and be honest with the deals. And this is another thing. When people can smell dishonesty in the conversation, they will slowly get away from you.
That's an interesting point you made. So, okay, so in your case, you said you developed trust over the years. So, in your experience over the years, uh, how many of your clients have repeatedly dealt with you because they trust you? Let's give it to Govin. He will do the deal.
All my sales, actually, as you pointed out, I'm a small agency, yes. All my sales has been on that basis. And until today, it's a cradle to grave. Ever since they knew me, 24 years ago, I sold them a factory for about $13 million in Maru. The same client came back after 24 years telling me, Govin, I just need a 10-acre plot. If I tried to sell him a 20-acre, which is actually $70 million deal, but he could not bite it, and he just went listing. The company just went listing. It's called Pentec Global. So the first company he bought from me for about $12 million, he took it to listing to the main board, Pentec Holdings. So he listed at 50 cents. The share price went up to $3. He gave me 100 lots, pink shares, pink forms, in reward for what I have done for them, for him. So that's how. So now, after 24 years, the same customer has come back. There's so many agents in the town, and you won't believe, he's a Chinese. For those people listening who say Chinese support Chinese and things like that is utter rubbish. I will not subscribe to this. Chinese worst goes for performance. Can you deliver or not? If you can deliver, yes, I'm with you. If you can't deliver, get lost from me. That's how. Get lost.
No,
Don't
we're not getting racial, but I think you're making an important point that,
yes.
that
I'm just saying it's not
yes,
racial.
the public at large do not care whether you're Indian, Chinese, or Malay. As long as you can deliver, they want to deal with you.
Right. The trust factor is so important. Even when another agent brings the deal to him, he takes it and gives it to me. Govin, can you go and do this? I don't trust this fellas. See, he's genuinely giving him a deal. He says, I don't trust this fellas because they will do any kind of shorty deals. Because that's the perception of people in the market, rents especially.
Okay.
So he gave it to me to do the deal, even though it was
Okay.
not my deal, it was his deal. That's
Okay.
how interesting this trust matter is. So know when to push and when to pause. If you push too much, it'll break. You need to pause. When you need to pause.
In a tug of war, you must know when to let go and when to
Yes, when it's
go.
in your favor, you can push. If it's not in your favor, pause.
Okay, this one probably you have touched a little bit, but this is a very interesting question. How do you negotiate when millions are on the line? So, what tactics separate amateurs from pros in the negotiation room?
Very interesting question. Yes, the millions on the line. So what do you do? It's a tough call. So to me, I when I face such a situation, I always get back to basics. That's my answer. Get back to basics. Don't try to do mumbo jumbos and trying to do somersaults and all that. Just get back to basics. Sit down with him. Stop selling. Stop selling. Stop selling. So sit with him. Tell him I'm with you. Tell me what's your concerns. Tell me what's your concerns. What worries you? What bothers you? What is putting you off from this deal? So you get back to basics. So that's the easiest way to address
Going back into issues.
going back to the issues. Then you start all over again. Actually, basically starting all over again. Back to basics means starting all over again.
Okay, so we all know there's a massive difference between someone who closes deals and someone who engineers them. So when I look at you, you are one who engineers, okay, because that's why we call you the good deal specialist, right? So in your experience, what separates, I think you mentioned this word, transactional seller from a strategic deal maker?
Okay, a transactional deal is one that's short term. It's one that's short term. A strategic one is long term. So I apply strategy. and it's long term.
You need to explain this a little bit more in detail.
See, transactional is like the new agents are all transactional in nature. They just want to get the transaction done.
Make the money fast.
They make the money fast. Quick fix. Quick. It's not big deals, the smaller deals, actually. There's not much of intricacies in the small deals. But nevertheless, if you look at it from their perspective, you will see making sure that the purchase that he made does not end up in the auction room after a while. That's your responsibility. That's my responsibility in every deal. If you think if you're not there, then I don't think you should position. Be honest in telling him, this is not for you. You need to go. Otherwise, you go and ask him, do you have a brother? Do you have a sister? Do you have a father? You can tie up, merge them. You can. And tell them a reason why you should merge them. When you merge them, they have got more things to talk and they get united. And,
you bring the family together.
Bringing the family together. That gives rise to telling people you should form a company. You can form an LLP. LLP doesn't cost much. A normal cinnamon bread costs you $5,000 to $6,000 a year. Here, LLP doesn't cost you much. It doesn't cost you $50 or $500 to form. And you need a person to manage that accounts. That's all. So you can tell that, and that will actually bring. So you see, you're opening up so many dimensions to a transaction. So even though it's small, it's a transactional deal, but you need to coin it that way. And that takes time. You learn.
That's why you need the strategic exactly how you get that done now.
Yes, it becomes. You see, as you correctly say, there's a massive difference. So I say it's short term versus long term. The other thing is it's a reactive and proactive approach. If you're proactive, the word proactive is very deep, right? So it goes beyond. But if you're reactive, you're looking at the shortcomings and then reacting. So don't be reactive. So you can either value capture or you can do value creation.
Value capture
or
value creation. What's the difference?
Okay. Value creation is you are telling him, brother, if you buy this property, if you do an Airbnb, we do not know whether it can be done. But if it can be done, then you can tell him, your repayment is $3,000, your income is $6,000. So you take a 30-year loan because you want to have a slow repayment. But you can tell him in 15 years you can pay back. You don't have to wait for 30 years. Don't take the money. You're still young and able. You go and work. Take that money that you get from the Airbnb, $6,000, pay and shorten your period. And then you can do equity refinancing and buy another property. So you keep building on blocks,
multiplying.
You keep multiplying. So this is how it works. So that's how you value capture in a property. And of course, if you do value creation, is the big deals, which I love. You can do value creation because it gives you a number of portfolios. So therefore, you can go and say what you can do with this. You can convert the car park into a retail outlet. If you go to the roof, you've got so much of open space which you can put a solar panel and reduce your your power supply. This kind of things. Then if you really see, because if it's big, you can probably see there is a panel, a digital board you can put up. Okay, signboard.
So I mean, it's really interesting to listen to some of the things you say. But this is a new guy. Okay, so I want to bring this back to this 30,000 rents who are out there. I think out of the 30,000, maybe 25,000 I'm referring to, who cannot have this mindset. All right. So what do you tell them? How do you start having this mindset? I always tell them, hey, real estate is not short term lah. And what do you tell them? Hey, if you want to be successful, although these are all bigger things you learn in life as you go along, where do you start? Where do you go so that you will become like what you are?
I think it all starts in one's, some industries are actually made for some people. They're not born. Of course, it's cultivated. From the upbringing helps them in certain way. in certain way. So that is why you find some people can never become rents. They will come and they will go. You have to let them go because they don't fit into this. There's no choice. So probably the pre-qualification criteria for a rent needs to be looked at. If you have a template, you can look at and see where it comes from. You see, there are book smart people, there are street smart people.
Mm.
The street smart will do extremely well in
Real estate.
Yes.
Mm.
The book smarts will struggle. The book smarts will struggle. I know. I'm right now negotiating a $200 million deal. For the last 5 years, I've been working on this. 5 years.
Serious?
5 years, yes. So the guy said, "Wow, this is going to be a huge, income for you, man. It's going to make a difference to you." I said, "Brother, it is not. It is not. Actually, I know him for 10 years, but I've been negotiating for 5 years."
Mm.
So I told him, "I know you 10 years. I haven't sold a single property.
Mm.
10 years is 120 months. You take the $2 million or $3 million I'm going to make from there. You divide it by the 120 months and tell me how much I made. 15,000 a month. Chicken feed." So he keep quiet already after that.
Okay.
He said, "Nothing lah.
Ah.
All these years I've been following you, I'm giving you emotional intelligence, emotional support.
Okay.
I'm carrying you, cradling you through. So now
And how much money are you going to make if this deal goes through?
of course I'll make 2.5 million.
No, I'm talking about your buyer.
Oh, my buyer. I'm doing this deal as a fabulous price.
Ah.
We're talking 200, right?
Ah.
The property is probably worth 280 million.
Okay.
So it's a value buy. So now you know how I pitch it.
Okay.
So I have a habit of pitching all the time, but I think I don't want to pitch more now.
So one very important point you made is that you can follow a client for 5 years, and that means it's generally long term lah. If you have got a client now, you say, "Yeah, Dafla don't want to buy," but if you follow him and be sincere and honest with him, in time to come, chances are you'll be able to convince and get him a deal.
That is how a rent should operate. And the street smarts will bear. They wait because they're not in the game for the day. They are in the game for life. I'm in the game.
For a quick fix.
Yes, quick fix.
This is the quick fix.
No, I'm in the game for life. Yeah. So for me, I'm not chasing deals, but I will do the deals. So that is why I can share with you some deals. But of course, you do not know how long I worked. But I'm honest enough in telling you that I worked for 5 years. So now you know that you work for 5 years, you're getting 15,000 a month. You're coming and talking so big about real estate, big deals.
No, I think having been in the profession for as long as we are, we know that it's not easy. I mean, Usain Bolt did not win the gold medal and become the world's #1 because he was sleeping at home every other day. They work their butts out to be where they are.
Something like
So
Tony
we need to be. I remember this, and let me just share also that that famous motivator. What's his name? Real estate guy. I just forgot his name.
Tom Hopkins?
Tom Hopkins. Tom Hopkins said, "You need to work harder on yourself than on anyone else. Because when you work harder on yourself, you become good in what you're doing." It took me, I think, 15 years, 20 years ago. And until today, I believe on it. When I talk to my son also, they can't understand this. "Why you waste your time, lah? You want to be so meticulous about what you do, lah. Other fellows are making money." I said, it's not about making the money. Probably if you're meticulous, you would have made double the amount. So anyway, so that's a good point you made. So you are saying that you need to look at it in the long run. Sometimes you need to work long on this deal.
Yes.
Okay.
Really work long. And you work on the rents have to work on a creative plane, not competitive plane.
Creative plane and not competitive plane.
Yes. Creative planes. That means anything you see, you can it's like mind mapping. Tony Buzan says, you just put your mind and you say, "All right, this is what I can do. This is what I can do. This is what I can do. This is what I can do." You explore all the options. And then you see which is the fastest way to achieve this. So you tackle that one.
You do this creative mindset you have. Is it because you were technically trained? Last time you were technically trained, right? You did some technical.
Yes, I did engineering.
Okay.
Because that has helped me to a great extent to what I am.
So indirectly, you're saying all engineers will do well.
I'm sure the engineers will do well.
Actually, in
But-
our
but-
company, a lot of fellows who are engineers
They
are
will
doing
do well because they can see through and see beyond. That's the difference. You can see through because you give him you see it's like a sculptor. You know, you give a block of stone, granite. You know, the sculptor sees what is not necessary to be he removes. You know, but he sees the thing beyond.
He sees the image
He
there,
sees
so
the
he can
image
carve it
there.
out.
He knows what needs to be removed, so he removes.
Okay. Removed.
Removed. You
Okay.
need to remove, like what you said just now. The real motivation comes from inside. It doesn't come from outside. Today I speak, then let's listen and say, "Oh, fantastic, lah! I am very excited." You know, that's how it goes. But actually, it doesn't come from outside. It comes from within. It will last forever. The motivation from within will last forever. And where does this motivation come from within? It comes from discipline. The more disciplined you are, the more motivation you get.
What time you wake up in the morning to go to work?
Honestly, actually, I want to tell you something about. You have one of those questions. Go
No,
on. You
Let's
want to
just
know it?
break away from that.
Okay. If you open my phone,
Phone.
you will see it's clock set at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock is my time, wake up time. But most of the time, I wake up. My bio clock wakes me up even earlier. So the journey starts not this morning. It starts last night. So before I go knock off to bed, I'm already premeditating, sending all my messages to the universe and telling him this is what I'm going to do tomorrow, this is what I'm going to do, and I need support from you. So it's already at work when I'm sleeping. And when I get up at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock, I straight go on and reaffirm the same thing. Reaffirm the same thing. So I'm now not only spiritually prepared, physically prepared, and mentally prepared. So I am already there. You know, I psychic myself up to this extent that, you know, you can feel the vibration in you. Every cell is vibrating in your body. So you should feel that. So that's how you psychic yourself, because you make yourself believe. It's there or not, you believe that you can do it. That's how it works.
So I hope every morning, all the friends wake up early in the morning at 5 o'clock and make sure it goes down through yourself from head to the toe. But then they'll be sleeping, and then they said, "I'm sorry, I'm late today. I'll come see you tomorrow, boss." Okay, interesting session, Govin. I think we're almost there.
Almost there.
I want to thank you for coming. But before I want to end it, I still need to ask you one question. To the young people out there, all those, yesterday I was doing NCC, there were some 40 people sitting, they're all excited, but when they go into the market, they may not have the support or the leadership or the supervision for them to go through. Without all this, saying that I now want to do real estate, what would be the key things that you want to advise them to be successful? What must you do? What you should avoid in a very quick way? What would the advice be to these young people?
Okay, they basically need to have a unique selling proposition. Each and every one is unique. Each and every one is unique. And this uniqueness, you need to go deep inside you to find out what you could do and how you could do.
What is your strength?
What is your strength? The SWOT analysis, if you can do.
Your personal analysis.
Yes, your personal analysis is. Once you realize your capabilities, your strength, you can actually work on your USP. Now, this USP, unique selling proposition, whatever you're capable of, then you target your clientele based on your strength. Life is about connecting the dots. There are many dots out there. So you need to connect. You might be at the lower rank of the dots. But you see, once you connect, you get to the next level. It elevates you. It takes you to the next level. And as the saying goes, beyond the mountains, there are many roads path that leads to other mountains. But as long as you remain in the valley, you will never see the other path. So
You're talking about the duck and the eagle story.
yeah, that's your famous line. But I'm talking about
Yeah.
this path that leads to other mountains. So don't stay in the valley. Start somewhere. Identify a unique selling proposition, and escalate. Move on. You will see light. Life gets so exciting, so interesting.
Real estate, it's so exciting.
Yeah, it's so exciting. You look forward to the day. You will look forward to the day. You are so excited. You don't wait to get up, And discipline very important. How you do anything is how you do everything. The little thing, the minute you get up from your bed, if you don't have a habit of folding your blanket and tidying your bed, you're out.
Oh, I remember some general cities in America. That's the first thing you do. The first discipline.
So that's army discipline.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing you do is fold your blanket.
If you don't do that,
No, it's okay. Nowadays, the mother and father will go and. Okay, anyway, we have time's up.
Okay.
So it's already an hour. I think today was a very exciting session. Govin, honestly, I want to thank you. A lot of jewels came out from your body.
One more thing I'll just tell the friends.
okay,
You ask me what the friends can do. Look for small, shallow ponds to catch big fish.
Look for
small and shallow ponds to catch
the big
big
fish.
fish.
This one must go and look lah. It's not everywhere, right?
It's everywhere.
But
it's a law of attraction.
Okay.
What you focus on, you see.
Okay.
What you focus on, you will see. You attract. So look for little ponds to catch big fish, because that will then take you to the next level. Actually, that's how, because for the first 5-6 years, or even 10 years, I was just there, just like any other agent.
10 years, I remember.
I've gone through, because you see, the beautiful thing is I was never preconditioned in my mind, because I never worked for anybody. I never worked for any real estate firm. So it is me and myself. So I worked on myself, like what you said just now. You work on yourself, and then you find, slowly you find. And then when 10 years came, I became a bit discontented. So discomfort is good. If you're in the comfort zone, it's no good. You must be uncomfortable. When you're uncomfortable, you realize that you need to do something. It's getting bored. Why are you still hovering over the same old thing day in, day out there? This is the bathroom, this is the toilet, this is the dining, that's why they don't know that it's the toilet and bathroom.
So Dana Artha gave you the break.
Dana Artha was a blessing in disguise. It just blew me up, because it was one of those things. They give you the valuation report, you need to pay for it. In the valuation report, everything is there.
Yeah.
As I told you last time, when I sold a property in Langkawi, maybe it's an interesting story. The valuation report said there's a dilapidated abandoned building there, and then there was a row of shop houses by the beach. There was a coconut tree behind the thing. So the guy who called me happened to be from Langkawi. He called me and he said, "How do I go there?" So I used the map, and then I showed.
And you've never seen the land?
I've never been to Langkawi. Never been to Langkawi. So when I went there, I guided him. He saw I saw the coconut tree. I said, "There's a coconut tree." So he went to the coconut tree. He said, "Under the coconut tree, there's a temple, small temple." I said, "I don't know. I've not been there." You know what he said? "Langkawi, you tunjuk jalan. Pernah datang Langkawi." After that, he took me. He bought a ticket.
He bought the land.
He bought it.
All right, guys. So I know time's up.
Okay.
Always not enough time, but very interesting subject. I'm able to talk to Govin like that because we know each other for years and we've grown together in the profession. So real estate is an exciting thing. So you go out there, get excited, and grow slowly and try to understand what you're going to do, your USP, work on your strength and everything else that Govin advised. So with that, I want to thank you for joining us. And I hope this will go viral. If you ever see this video in YouTube, please send it to your other colleagues so that everybody will see and benefit out of it. The whole idea about this is that we are trying to do a community development to help our estate agents to become better. With that, I want to thank the team that's put this up together. There's a big team sitting out there, different shoes. I need to get into their shoes to understand what's happening also. So with that, I want to thank you. And on behalf of IQI and on behalf of the fraternity, I want to thank you, Govin, for for this wonderful.
Thank you, Soma,
interview.
for the opportunity you've given me.
Okay.
It's really wonderful to be
Okay.
here.
Small token of appreciation.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, here you are. All right. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Picture. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.